Today I fucked up when a guy asked me out and I started crying. Before I start this, yes, I know that I am a mess. So this is kinda also an update to my last post, but for anyone who doesn't want to go read it, here's the gist of it. I've been through some stuff and now have a lot of anxiety and self-esteem issues that I am working through because of it, so I haven't really been focusing on dating at all. But then, today this guy in the office building where I work started talking to me and was flirty and such, and I was really flattered and happy because guys don't normally talk to me like that. So here's the update and the FU. I went down to the building's cafeteria for lunch, and I saw him sitting at one of the tables with his co-workers. He waved me over, so I went over and we were talking a bit, and at one point we were joking about him paying for the lunch I had just bought, and he very slyly was like, maybe I could just take you on a proper date instead or something like that. So here's where the anxiety kicks in. Because of past stuff, and because this is happening in front of the table full of his co-workers, I start getting really confused and nervous, and I immediately start to think that it's a joke or prank or something. So another thing that happens when I'm ridiculously anxious is I start shaking, which is great. And I can feel that coming on, so when he asks for my number, I put it into his phone and then nope out of there as fast as I can without it being super abrupt. I ended up sitting at one of the tables all the way on the other side so I could get myself together, and immediately my eyes started tearing up. Just as tears start coming out, the same guy walks over and sits down at the table with me, all great things, and I'm not able to hide from him the fact that I'm low-key crying. Basically we talked a little more and he said it wasn't a joke or prank or anything and that he just thought I was beau today I fucked up. Also threw me off quite a bit, and he was sorry for asking me in front of everyone, but he would like to go out if I was okay with it, and I said I was. I just hope I can get my SHT together before I see him next. Too long didn't read, I got asked out for the first time in basically ever, and I ended up crying because I thought it was a joke or prank. Edit, guys. I did not run away crying. I gave him my number, said bye to him, and walked away, then teared up when I was at the table by myself. Please stop saying I ran away crying, it's making me feel even weirder than I already do, smiley face. Anxiety attacks are awful, and he sounds like a really understanding guy. Good luck, X. On a date with a guy, and my anxiety got the better of me while we were walking to the cinema together. I ended up throwing up in front of him. He seemed genuinely concerned and caring, and I felt like a right melon. He asked me if I wanted to go home, but I felt okay after and said I'd like to still go to watch the film if he wanted to. We have been together for 13 years and married for 9. That must have been scary in the moment, but that's so great that you guys worked out. Smile and thank you, Black Heart. He seems super sweet. Good luck on the date. Thank you. I guess it can't get much worse at this point, smiley face. For what it's worth, it looks like this guy sees your worth a little better than you do yourself. He sees your quality, and it seems that he genuinely likes you, in which case I would wager he found your little freak out more endearing than off-putting, which is a good thing. Last piece of advice. Some of your self-esteem issues even reflect in the way you write. He didn't say your beau today I fucked up. He said your beau today I fucked up. Accept it. Own it. And use that as proof, as validation that your own negative thoughts about yourself are just that, thoughts. They do not reflect the real you and the way people perceive you. Easier said than done, I know, but it's a process. Thought I'd just point this out in hopes that it helps you. I've been there. Good luck on the date, smile. Just be yourself, don't overthink things, and if things get too overwhelming, let him know, but also tell him you'd like to go on another date, assuming you do, so he isn't confused. I'm definitely trying. Once I actually befriend/start talking to someone, I'm usually very direct in communication, so I tell them if I'm overwhelmed or need some kind of support or whatever else, but since I barely even know this guy, I think I just froze up and pretty much had a fight or flight situation, lol. I did text him back that I am okay with going out with him though. I know it will take some time to trust him, or any guy honestly, but I want to try. Hi friends. I just woke up and did not expect this post to get so much response literally overnight. So, thank you to all the supportive comments. I expected there would be some jerks who would make assumptions about me because that's the internet for you, but just to clarify to everyone, I am okay. I have a psychiatrist, therapist, and for the first time an amazing support circle of people who really care about me. Smile. I know that from this post, my anxiety sounds out of control, but it really has gotten so much better. I think this time I just got so anxious because it was a really unexpected situation and in front of a bunch of strangers, so I froze. And also to clarify, I did not start shaking in front of him, I left to avoid that, and I was not full on crying, only a little. Smiley face. Thanks again everyone, I'm hoping for the best, black heart. Today I fucked up by taking my wife up the world's steepest street. My wife and I were having a holiday in New Zealand's South Island, and visited Dunedin. I've been there a number of times and casually asked my wife, "Have you ever been to the world's steepest street?" "No," says she. "Would you be interested in having a look?" Says I. "I dunno," says she, in the often used tone of a woman that clearly means no, but with words softer than a blunt refusal. Being the loving husband I am, knowing full well how much she hates heights, I take her words as enthusiastic consent. She gave in and decided to give it a try. Baldwin Street in Dunedin is very steep. It doesn't look like it's too bad when you're facing it, but as soon as you drive up it, or walk, if you're particularly adventurous, it quickly becomes quite intimidating. Some facts: they couldn't use ordinary roading materials because of how steep it is, and the footpath/sidewalk is one very long staircase. It's too dangerous to have it flat. My wife quickly started to panic, but it was the sort of mid-level panic that me, as her husband, finds deeply amusing. Anyway, we got to the top, and found a driveway to turn into so we could make the return journey facing down. I suggested reversing down and got punched. Well, the mid-level panic quickly turned into full-blown "I hate you" panic as the car lurched to the side as we turned to face the descent. The car was then pointing down at such an angle that you felt like it was impossible for the brakes to hold and that the car would simply fall uncontrollably. She had to cling onto the dashboard and everything else within reach to remain in her seat, and she didn't trust her seatbelt alone. We drove slowly down the street. Too fast. Too fast. We came to a stop. Too fast. Her eyes were clamped shut in such a way that I was expecting a wonderful Velcro-like tearing noise when she finally opened them. After 17 lunar months the road leveled out and we parked up. My wife was hyperventilating and punching me at the same time. It took her quite a while to calm down. After a few minutes I said, "Well, that was fun, want to go again?" I slept in the car that night. TL doctor, took wife up the world's steepest street. She had a panic attack and I became a victim of a woman's porn. Edit: no, I didn't actually sleep in the car. Wife doesn't have anxiety issues. She later agreed that her reaction was funny and that she would have done the same to me had the situation arisen. Our marriage is such that we do things like this to each other and get a laugh out of each other's reactions. I know where the line is for her and she with me. Please calm down with the psychoanalyzing. The street's steepness was unintentional. As with many other parts of early Dunedin, and indeed New Zealand, streets were laid out in a grid pattern with no consideration for the terrain, usually by planners in London. Bureaucracy at its finest. A 19-year-old University of Otago student was killed when she and another student attempted to travel down the street inside a wheelie bin. The bin collided with a parked trailer, killing her instantly, and causing serious head injuries for the other student. Seriously steep. Wheelie bin. I was in New Zealand for work last summer and visited that street. It is pretty steep and a few cars went up and down while I walked up. Pretty cool place. Images don't do the steepness justice. I'm a local of Dunedin and as a younger guy would test the cars I owned up that street. It was always fun racing to the hill in fourth gear of my 1986 Mitsubishi Mirage and making to the top in first, just Going down isn't fun when you aren't in the driver's seat. There's definitely a feeling of pressing your foot through the floor when you're the passenger of the car going downhill. Walked up it last time I was over. I think driving it was more adventurous. I was disappointed, and impressed, to see toddlers walking up with their parents. But then again, it's the world's steepest street, not world's steepest staircase. As long as you aren't old or fat, it's entirely walkable. Just gets you a bit puffed. Fun fact, somebody once relocated a house via truck up that street. Was so interesting I recall they made a news doco thing about it. Today I fucked up. I finished while making eye contact with his mom NSFW. Today I fucked up. So me and my boyfriend were doing the dirty deeds in him and his mom's 2-bedroom apartment. We are usually fairly quiet and his mom is very good at knocking. So he went under the blanket after an hour-ish of fooling around. Less than 5 pretty great minutes passed by and it is time to release. As you can tell by the title, the worst thing happened to us. Keep in mind we have been together for over a year and I am still afraid to talk to her. So what's better to break the ice than a very powerful orgasm? Mistake 1. We left the TV on. Mistake 2. We were sinning in her presence to begin with. Mistake 3. He didn't hear her come in. An hour of pent-up page 13 smooching lingering hands led to one thing which lead to another. Usually I am very insecure of him licking the vertical bacon sandwich, but today I thought it would be fine. I was wrong. Performance has never been an issue on his end and once again he did great, so great his mom heard us and walked in. If that wasn't bad enough, we usually turn off the TV to avoid unwanted visitors and are usually on our feet. Usually. Rather than knocking per usual, her face of curiosity beamed, and the weight of 100 eyes locked onto me. There I am, mid-orgasm, making prolonged eye contact with his mom for what felt like 15 seconds. I am petrified and my boyfriend is still slurping the very sensitive slit. All noise that tried to escape was stopped as abruptly as my heart beat. Her look of confusion and fear is all that my body can focus on. Cherry on top of this situation is that my boyfriend hadn't heard her in the room the entire time. Eventually his mother's body must have gone to flight mode as she notices her son's legs sticking out of the blanket. And with the closing of the door, my poor boyfriend's head pops out of the blanket only to realize that she had already left. So today I fucked up by finishing on my boyfriend's face while holding intense eye contact with his mom. Wish me luck because I believe dinner will be soon. Always take precautions, brothers. Too long didn't read. I kept unbroken eye contact with his mom mid-orgasm. Sorry I wrote this right after it happened and writing has never been something I'm good at. I thought writing this would make me feel better about the situation, but I don't think it did. Thank you for your time, people of Reddit. You could always skip dinner because he's already eaten. Keep the eye contact game up during dinner. Performance has never been an issue on his end and once again he did great, so great his mom came. Giggles. Now that's how you assert dominance. Don't let her know I cried. When I was a teenager, I was at my girlfriend's place, and we were enjoying a relaxing afternoon. Her bedroom had an ensuite bathroom, and we ended up in there in the shower, then her sitting on the toilet, me standing in front of her, and she was bobbing for apples pretty aggressively. Like I said, nice afternoon. We knew her parents were out so we weren't worried. You know where this is going. I was facing away from the bathroom door, and towards the full wall mirror. Suddenly, as I'm about to gift my girlfriend with a bow today I fucked up a pearl necklace, her mom opens the bathroom door to stare straight into my face in the mirror. My girlfriend couldn't see her, because she was busy, and also I was standing between her and the door, so she didn't stop. It was the most awkward orgasm of my life as her mom then slammed the door, which of course for my GF's attention pretty damn quick. Who opens someone else's bathroom door? She knew what she was going to see.